Welcome back to the news at 10. The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has rounded off his tour of the oil-rich region of the Niger Delta. During his visit, Professor Osinbajo made several promises regarding the federal government's commitment to the development of the region. And our big story tonight, our energy correspondent Olu Phillips brings us some of the reactions to his visit and the viability of the promises made.
$100 billion as unearned revenue is what Nigeria lost to the effect of militancy in the Niger Delta region for the year 2016. Devastating in every sense of the word. In the same 2016, between January and June, a total of 1,447 pipeline attacks were witnessed in the region. The results? Revenue went down. Oil production output dropped to below 1 million barrels per day against the 2.3 million barrels target. Consequently, gas to power was cut by 3,000 megawatts. It can't get any worse. For the region that accounts for over 90% of the country's revenue, the sights and sounds emanating from the producing communities paints a bleak picture. In the early days of the current administration, a military approach was adopted to engage the agitators. Again, the result only made matters worse. As the days progressed, it does appear a new song is rising, a song of hope, a song of restoration, and maybe a song of commitment. That orchestra is being conducted by the acting president, who has in the past weeks left his cozy office in Nigeria's capital city into the tucked-in creeks of the nation's resource base. That visit takes him to Delta State, Baramoti Kingdom to be precise. That kingdom is so strategic. Mr. Ekpamopolo government, better known as Tompolo, hails from there. The controversial Maritime University, which the Minister of Transport has challenged, is domiciled there. And it has also been the epicenter of Operation Crocodile Tears as launched by the Nigerian military. In all of this, the highest ranking officer in this government to visit that region had this to say.
When I leave here, we'll be visiting Kuruté, the site of the Maritime University. The President has directed the Ministry of Petroleum to work quickly to see to the realization of all of the objectives of implementing this crucial educational institution.
River State is his next stop. He visits there twice in 1 week, en route to Bayelsa, where again he rekindled hope for rapid development.
Those young men and women who are involved in illegal refining, our approach to that is that we must engage them by establishing modular refineries so that they can participate in legal refining, not illegal refining.
He has since returned to Abuja, but his visit and comments has thrown up reactions.
We're not interested in visitors. We're interested in the delivery of what the visitors are saying.
A peace mission has started in Baramoti as spearheaded by the king. So, despite the degradation of this fishing community, the people of Kokodiagbene have been asked to trust the federal government.
School was too far from us. Education was very far from us. Just as I will also say that environmental offenders are far from the law. So that is why you see massive environmental pollution everywhere. So on that, we also call on His Majesty to throw his weight behind it so that that school should start the next academic session.
Of all the promises made, that relating to modular refinery remains a gray area. Question is, who will build and finance the refineries? Government or the private sector? Who will run them? Will it be those categorized as illegal refiners who of course lack the trainings, or trained personnel? How would feedstock, that's talking about crude, get to the refineries? Crude is priced in dollars. Will there be concession for the pricing and purchase? The concept of modular refinery is not a viable one, according to experts. Will the model work? The illegal refiners as constituted today steal crude, cook it, and dispose the residue on the environment. Are these the bulk that will run the project? Clearly, the visit of the acting president has been welcomed by many. What is doubtful, derived from previous experiences, is how soon tangible and meaningful deployment of infrastructure will happen in that region. The wait has started afresh. For the big story, Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Let's take a look at some business news for the day. Here's Anne Waudu.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Ijoma. Welcome to Business News. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it's yet to receive any query from the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation regarding allegations of disparity in forex allocations and rates, as reported in the media today. The special advisor to the CBN Governor, Mr. Emmanuel Okeje, spoke earlier to us on the matter.
Avoidance of that, I want to state that it is not out of place for any agency of government to seek clarification on any information from other agencies of government. The CBN, however, as a responsible and responsive institution, we always provide such clarification to enlighten all concerned. And I wish to state categorically that CBN does not deal directly with any bank customer on foreign exchange transactions. This transaction is purely between the deposit money banks and their customers. I also want to make it clear that the figures published were the transactions between the banks and their customers. And you realize, Harriet, that pursuant to our policy of transparency, the CBN publishes the reports of purchases and sales of foreign exchange between deposit money banks and their customers as submitted by the banks without editing it. This practice of publishing on our website, of course, started since October last year.
Despite the low penetration rate of 0.4% in Nigeria's insurance sector, the gross premium income is estimated to grow by 8% this year. According to a report by the Pan-African Credit Rating Agency, Agosto and Company, the projection is hinged on a probable devaluation of the Naira, anticipated increase of infrastructure, and the continued growth in life business. The research, which examines the financial condition of the 45 insurance companies in Nigeria, expects profit to be upheld by increased investment income due to rising interest rates. The Nigerian Stock Exchange has cleared the air on its alleged involvement in the infractions carried out by Partnership Investment Limited. In an exclusive chat with Channels Television, the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, Mr. Oscar Onyema, absolved the NSE of these allegations, saying necessary measures are being taken to address the matter.
Received a formal complaint on the 17th of October, and that complaint was dated 16th of October. On that same day, we informed Partnership that they would be suspended, and they were suspended on the 18th of October. The investor in this particular case understands that there is a contract between the broker-dealer and the investor. It has nothing to do with the exchange. The exchange cannot be responsible because we're not a party to the transaction. We typically would know of an infraction when there's a report. We've done a lot of things other than the suspension. We've reported to EFCC. We've done a number of investigations, and that investigation continues to go on from an administrative perspective, separate from the criminal perspective that EFCC is handling, pursuant to our MOU with EFCC that we signed in 2013.
Nigeria's equities market ended today's session in the red after a brief rebound, taking sell-offs and losses from key sectors of the market. Harriet Agbenyi has the details. The Nigerian stock market pulled back by 0.30%,
powering the 0.39% gains recorded on Wednesday. Now, market capitalization shed 25.95 billion naira to end Thursday's session at 8.67 trillion naira, owing to depreciation recorded in some medium and large cap stocks, including Nigerian breweries, Stanbic IBTC, Flour Mills and Zenith Bank. UACN, John Holt and AXA Mansard were the top three losers in percentage value. Conversely, Julius Berger, Nymeth and FBN Holdings closed as the top three gainers. In comparison with Wednesday's transactions, today's tradings recorded a lower volume turnover of 144.39 million shares, valued at 1.53 billion naira, and traded in 2,303 deals. UBA, GT Bank and FCMB were the three most actively traded stocks today. That's the stock market report. I'm Harriet Agbinyi.
Thanks a lot, Harriet. Egypt stocks recovered from a 5-day losing streak today as three major African stock markets closed Thursday's trading session positive. But on the other hand, it's a broadly mixed performance for Asia, while equities in the United States and Europe ended negative. Let's see the numbers. And that's Business News Tonight. Thanks a lot for watching. I'm Anne Nwawado. It's back to you, Joma.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Anne. The achievement of Baywood Continental Limited, a Nigerian oil and gas company, underscores the need to deepen local participation in the sector. Well, that's according to the CEO of Baywood Group, Chris Ibe, who told journalists in Lagos that BCL is the first to carry out the largest bore pipe of 1 kilometer crossing through a river.
White House Hotels, Lagos, venue of a press conference by Baywood Continental Limited. And to address the energy correspondent present here is the Chief Executive Officer, Chris Ibe. And it appears this wholly owned Nigerian integrated oil and gas technical service company has had a lot of experience to share.
To date, BCL has achieved over 30 million man-hours with an industry unparalleled zero fatality.
In an industry dominated by foreign players, Baywood Continental, according to the CEO, has established an imprint.
BCL is the first to have engineered, designed and constructed the largest onshore gas pipeline in Nigeria for total exploration and production. This project, being BCL's flagship under OML 58 upgrade, is a 42 inches by 46 kilometer gas pipeline. And it is a major artery supplying gas to Alaoji power plant for power generation to the grid, as well as gas supply to LNG.
Questions on what the future holds for Baywood Continental Limited are asked, to which Chris Ibe gave answers.
And we are looking to upscale our operations, especially in areas of marginal fields, acquisition of mature oil fields from majors, and explore new frontiers in the energy sector, such as cluster power generation, using abundant gas for upcoming new cities and towns.
The Chief Operating Officer is excited about the operational plans of the organization.
We are already part of the leading companies amongst all the local companies, but we can be able to match the foreign companies within the next 5 years.
The story of Baywood Continental is a possible indication that with adequate support, local operators can achieve more.
Still ahead on the news at 10, World Football governing body FIFA plays down the threat of hooliganism at next year's World Cup in Russia. And that will be on sports. Please stay with us.